Hello, Northwood Parkway scholars. How are you doing? Um, this is Miss Cooper, and I'm just here to do a read aloud with you for the Annabelle Lee assignment that's on Common Lit. I'm going to try my very best to do as many of these read alouds with you as I possibly can for the duration of the situation. We'll find out more as time goes on. We'll be giving you information. Please, please, please check your emails. We are sending all information to the emails that we have on file for you. We have you set up with a student email, but I've spoken with many of my parents in my first period class to get me other emails so that if you're not checking your student email, that your parents can have access to the work that we're doing. But what I do need from every single one of my students is to contact me through the JMCSS email that we have at North Parkway Middle School. The name for me is TJ Cooper at jmcss.org. So if you are not receiving these videos, or if you're not receiving the email messages, it is imperative that you connect. Find a way to use a phone, use a tablet, whatever it is that you need. If you have technology issues, it's also imperative that you send that information to me if you are not able to access the internet via phone, tablet, laptop, or computer. Please send an email to me at tjcooper at jmcss.org so that we can respond back to you and let you know what the plans are for assisting our individuals that do not have internet access. Right now, we're providing paper materials for these things that we're working on. iReady is a very solid website that will work with math and English and other subjects as well. So Clever is the website that you'll be on when you're accessing those platforms. So if you did not get the information that I sent to you about how to access Clever or how to access Common Lit, you have to email me, tjcooper at jmcss.org. Your first period teacher should have given you information about your Clever login credentials and password. If you did not receive that, please let me know. Again, we need to work as a team. You know, all of us are trying to figure this out day by day. So I'm going to get into this reading of this poem on the Common Lit website. This is an English assignment. We will be checking these assignments every week. So it's important that you submit the work that we assign, because at the moment we don't know what to do about your grades until we get further information. And so if you have not done any of the work that we assign online and it's time to decide to pass you or fail you, I don't want to speak negative. I don't want to say anything that will scare you, but what I can say is we don't know. Okay, people had asked that question. Well, will we all be passed? I can't say that. What I can say is we're told to make sure that we have work for you and that we're checking the work, that if we're doing paper packets, we're going to get those paper packets and we're going to grade them. So we really just want you to work with us through this process. We don't know if this will last into next school year. And if it does last into next school year, or if next school year they incorporate more online learning, it's good to get started. It's good to understand how this works so that you're not upset when it's time to go to the next grade. We don't need anyone upset and hollering and mad about, well, I didn't pass and how come I could. We want you to do the work that we assign. We're letting you know that we're here to assist you, to help you in any way that we possibly can be here to do so. My office hours are 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I hope that's what I said earlier. I'll make sure that that's in an email, because at this point I'm really working around the clock. I'm answering phone calls on Saturdays. I'm answering phone calls on Sundays. I'm taking text messages. If you did not get my number, it's 901 901-468-3326. Again, that's 901-468-3326. That's a number that you can reach out to me. And if I'm not available to pick up your call at that point in time when you reach out to me, I promise you I will respond back as soon as I possibly can, and I will work out whatever issue that you have, and we'll make you feel confident about what it is that you need to do. Because ultimately we want you to take ownership of your learning process. We really want you to get to a place in your life where you can do what you need to do, know what you need to do, know how to do it, and get it done. That's really where we're going with this. And the good news is we're here. You'll have someone that you can chat with. You'll have someone that you can ask a question to. We're here. Okay, we're going to work as much as we have to, as much as we need to make sure that you feel confident about what it is that you need to do so that you can progress and go forward. So we're so sorry about all this. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and read this. And then I'm going to talk about these questions because I want you to be sure that you understand the questions. And as we go through every one of these assignments, there will be at least one, if not multiple videos that will provide commentary, that will have additional information to help you as you continue on through the distance learning channels. Okay. So this poem, it was written by Edgar Allan Poe in 1849. It says Edgar Allan Poe, from 1809 to 1849, was an American author, poet, and literary critic whose works are still widely read today. Annabel Lee is the last complete poem published by Poe before his death. It remains a mystery who, if anyone, was the inspiration for this poem. As you read, take notes on how Poe characterizes the love between the narrator and Annabel Lee. So when you think about that, that has a lot to do with main idea, theme. Remember those standards are RI and RL 8.2. Where we talk about theme, we talk about central idea. We want you to get the meaning behind an author's work. So starting with the beginning. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted, her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life, and my bride. in the sepulchre, there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. So that's the piece. Now we're going to look at these assessment questions. Now the guiding questions and the annotation tool and even the discussion component that's on the Common Lit website, utilize all of it. It will help guide you through every section. It will ask you specific questions as you're reading, so that as you read every stanza, or if this were other type of text, you would be reading every paragraph and you would need to try to stop and summarize. Stop and find out, do you understand what is meant? Do you understand what's being said? So the assessment questions are typically what you're going to get your grades from. So we want you to be sure that you have read it. If you need to enable the guided reading, if you need it to read out loud to you, do that. But the annotation tool is there and it's very helpful if you're using a computer. If you're doing it by phone, I'm not quite sure how that works. I haven't used this website by phone. But a tablet or a computer, you will definitely be able to use the annotation tool. So the first assessment question says, which part of the following best describes a central theme of the text? Remember, a theme is a message that the author is trying to portray. So first it says, A, love can sometimes be so strong that it cannot be stopped by death. B says jealousy and envy can corrupt people's intentions. C says youth, especially young emotion, leaves a strong imprint on our memories. And D says sometimes bad things happen to good people. So you want to think about the repetition in the poem. You want to think about what's being spoken about the most, what emotion or what feelings were being expressed. Think about your tone and mood activities that we've discussed in class. Tone words, words that are positive, words that are negative. Think about who and what's being spoken of in every stanza. And that would lead you to the correct answer. Okay? So think about that. The next question, I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to grade it. Or it's going to grade it, and it's going to tell me what you said. So, if you don't do too well on this one, we're going to have plenty of opportunities to talk about it. And when we get a chance to video Skype or chat or do Zoom conferences or however we're going to start to work, you'll get to speak to me, but you can always email me too. Okay? You can email me and say, well, I didn't understand this and I didn't understand that. And I'll respond. Okay? But I'm going to try my very best to refrain from giving you the answer. We want you to think about the answer. Think about what it could be. And it's okay if you're not right. This whole experience is going to be trial and error. So we'll constantly go back and forth with what's right, what's wrong. So I'm going to get to the next question so I won't spend too much time with you. The second question says, which of the following quotes best supports the answer to part A? So remember, if you knew the theme, okay, that was the first question. You had to know what the theme was. What was it talking about the most? What message do you feel was being portrayed through all of the stanzas as you read them, as you digested them? And if you didn't know some of the word meanings, please drop to the bottom of the page. It'll give you that. There are definitions there on Common Lit, very helpful. Read those footnotes, as they're called. So this, the choice A says, I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love. I and my Annabelle Lee. That was line 7 through 10. B says, so that her highborn kinsman and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels not half so happy in heaven when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. So if you didn't know the theme, you wouldn't be able to answer that question correctly. Remember, the supporting evidence always has to be directly related to what the prior question was. So you had to have that correct answer for number 1 before you can properly answer number 2. So think back to what you thought number 1 was and pick an answer that's going to support that in the best manner. The next question says, which of the following statements best summarizes how the speaker describes Annabelle Lee? So A says the speaker describes her as coming from a wealthier family, which is why she is taken from him. B says the speaker describes her as fragile and dainty, which is why she becomes sick so easily. C says the speaker idolizes her, describing her as beautiful and seemingly having no other purpose than to love him. D says the speaker idolizes her and describes her as perfect, but he also holds a lot of resentment for the way she treated him. So think again about the character, Annabelle Lee. What tone words suggest the feeling? Okay, how does the author feel about this character? How does the author feel about the events and the circumstances that are happening to the character? And what is the author talking about the most? Okay, think about those things, and that will help you get the answer. Okay, and even if you're wrong, it's okay. The more you practice, the better you get. Number 4, what effect does the personification of nature have on this poem? So remember, if you're not sure about personification is giving a human quality to non-human entities. So if we say a tree whistles or the wind whizzes or something that does not have human characteristics, and we give it human characteristics for the sake of a literary device such as personification, which is a literary device, we want you to think about what you heard being personified. Go stanza by stanza. What was being personified? And was it personified in a good way, bad way? What effect does the personification of nature have on this poem? How does it make you feel after you saw this being personified in a certain way? Okay, A says it proves that the speaker is unbalanced and that he is suffering from paranoia and delusions. B says it specifically gives the speaker and the audience hope that there is an afterlife. C says it supports the speaker's claim that Annabelle Lee was purposefully taken from him due to jealousy from the heavens. Or D, it makes nature seem invested in humanity as opposed to being indifferent and random, which the speaker fears more than anything. So think about some of the words that you see in those choices, and think about some of the words that are in the stanzas. Remember, the words are the tone and mood is going to continue to come up. What people say and how they say it, the connotation and the denotation, that's the most important part of comprehension. Do you understand what they said? Do you understand what they meant? And what were they talking about? This is how you break things down, come to a good answer the question, move on to the next. Part number 5, this is part B of the last question. Which of the following quotes best embodies an example of the answer to part A? It was many and many a year ago in a kingdom by the sea. That was lines 1 through 2. B says, yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. C says, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea. D says, for the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee, and the stars never rise, but I fear the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. Okay, so once again, this is a question that's asking you to connect some information to previous knowledge, prior knowledge. What did you learn from the last question? So think about those things before you select an answer. 6, what does the rhyme scheme reveal about the speaker? The rhyme scheme is, what is he rhyming about? How often is the rhyme occurring? Is there some repetition? You're thinking about those things. A says the rhyme scheme, as it is very basic and inconsistent, reveals little about the speaker, but does suggest he may be an unreliable narrator. B says the end rhyme scheme is simple and mostly involves words rhyming with Annabelle Lee. This suggests the speaker is trying to recreate a childish rhyme to draw attention to his youth. C says the end rhyme scheme is simple and mostly involve words rhyming with Annabelle Lee. This suggests that the speaker is still very focused on his relationship with Annabelle Lee, and she is never far from his mind. D says the rhyme scheme mostly relies on internal rhyme. For example, chilling and killing in line 26. This suggests that the speaker has been bottling up his grief since his childhood and he can barely speak of his pain. So once again, think about what you saw the rhyme scheme doing. Think about what it was talking about, what it was involving. This will help you come to an answer. So that was the last of the assessment questions. There were only 6. And let me know what you think. You can either put those comments in the comments of this YouTube video, or you can email me at tjcooper@jmcss.org. And again, if you need to reach out to me, my Google Voice number is 901-468-3326. Thank you. Peace and love. Until next time.